Let's move on to thing number 2, and really thing 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to give you one truth and 2 lies about the business contracts you're in every day. All right, one truth is they are the law. Okay? When we're talking about a deal between one business and another business, whatever you wrote down and signed, that's the law of the deal. There are some limited ways in which, the law of the state, statutes, things courts do, might come into that relationship and say, oh, that's unreasonable, or we're not going to enforce it that way. But they're pretty few and far between. The main legal principle is a contract between two businesses is the law between two businesses. That means that what you write down really matters. It means you need to take the time and the effort to get that contract right, because you're stuck with it. It means you may want to think about who's writing and reviewing your contracts, because, again, you're stuck with it. It's the law. That's also something you can use to your advantage. All right? A lie you hear about contracts, you hear it less, but you still hear it some. Oh, it was a click to agree, right? It was like that, I'm clicking onto a website, it's license terms, whatever. I just clicked it. All I did was click it. They probably can't enforce that against me because I couldn't negotiate it. Whoever reads that stuff, but it doesn't matter. It can't be enforced. Oh, it's totally enforceable. It's completely enforceable. They're little limited ways around the edges that you might get out of some term in a click-through agreement. But by and large, it's just like any other contract. And the law has for a long time recognized click-through agreements, which also means, particularly for a lot of you in the software world and in the licensing world, that's to your advantage. Or I even have clients who are like home improvement contractors, right? And we put some of their contract online, and then their agreements, it says, don't forget to look at our terms and conditions online. That's largely enforceable. So it's a place you can hide a lot of terms that you don't necessarily want people to read, but you need them to protect you, right? That's been the game in licensing and in like software as a service for decades. Totally works, absolutely enforceable. You also hear, and this is a lie you hear a lot. You'll hear, you can't change anything in our contract. This is our standard agreement. No one ever changes anything in it. We use it for everybody. It's fine. You can just sign it because there's no point in having anybody review it. It's our standard agreement. We don't change it. That is complete bull. They do change it. I've seen them change it. They change them all the time. That is a bargaining technique usually used by larger organizations against smaller and entrepreneurial organizations, right? You are a supplier to big pharma. You are doing consulting work for a big company, and they say, this is our standard professional services agreement. We never change it. You have to use this one. No, you don't. I have found there is always a way to negotiate changes to those agreements, because the fundamental thing is they want to do business with you. You're offering something that they want. You're at the table. You're having the conversation. You can make changes. Can you cover the thing in red ink and change everything? Of course you can. They do have, in some ways, greater bargaining power than you do. But if you pick your battles and you pick what's most important to you and you engage in some skilled negotiation, you can always change it. You can always make some changes. Sometimes you can make a lot of changes, and there are tricks to the trade for how to do that. But the key thing is that is a lie. It is a negotiating technique. That's all it is. Don't buy it. One more thing about contracts. Now, I lied. I'm going to give you one more thing. Here's a bonus truth. And the bonus truth is, let's dive deeper into what I just talked about. Because the reality that I've learned representing this kind of company is you actually have a negotiating advantage being an entrepreneur. And your negotiating advantage is literally who you are and what you do, right? Let's say, bigger company, it's come to you because of something unique you have, right? It's your product, it's your innovation, maybe it's your pricing, maybe it's a personal relationship, maybe it's responsiveness, but there is something there that got you to the table. They want it. You just need to use that to your advantage in negotiations. Let it give you some confidence, that you can ask a question and push back on something. That doesn't mean they're immediately going to walk away from the table and go to somebody else. Does that happen occasionally? Yes, of course it does. You got to read every negotiating situation. But usually, you're fine asking some questions. And you want to keep reminding the business side of the people you're dealing with why they came to you in the first place. So, one of the things I will say is use your value and your values as negotiating advantages. Your value in that thing you offer that's different than other people offer. Your values in that I find it even works to say things like, yeah, I get it. This works when you're doing, when some other big company is your supplier, but that's just not practical for me, right? You came to me, you wanted what I have, and this term here, there's no way I can match that on a cash flow basis, let's say, right? Right. I understand you want $10 million of cyber coverage for all of your vendors, but that doesn't really fit for us, right? And the whole reason you want to do work with us is for the nature of our business, which is why that doesn't fit into our business model. We got to change that term. 8 times out of 10, that works. So use your own self to your advantage.